Stephen Hawking was one of the most brilliant scientists of our time. He was a physicist, cosmologist, and author who changed the way we understand the universe. But what makes his story truly inspiring is how he overcame great physical challenges to achieve incredible success. Childhood and early life. Stephen Hawking was born on January 8, 1942, in Oxford, England. His parents were intelligent and curious people who loved learning. Even as a child, Stephen showed signs of being very smart. He was curious about how things worked and loved to build machines. But in school, he was not always the top student. He was slow at reading and writing, and some teachers thought he would never do well. Still, Stephen loved to ask big questions like, why does the universe exist? And, how did everything begin? Going to university, Stephen studied physics and mathematics at the University of Oxford. He was very young when he started, just 17 years old. At first, he found the work too easy, and he was a bit bored. But soon, he began to enjoy it. Especially when he moved to the University of Cambridge for his PhD studies. There, he started to focus on cosmology, the science of the universe. But just as Stephen was beginning his studies at Cambridge, something terrible happened. He started to feel clumsy and tired. He began to trip over things and slur his speech. After many tests, doctors told him he had a disease called ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as motor neuron disease. The doctors said he had only 2 to 3 years to live. Fighting against all odds, Stephen was only 21 years old when he got this bad news. He was very sad and depressed. He felt hopeless and thought there was no reason to continue his studies. But something changed his mind. He met a young woman named Jane Wilde, who later became his wife. Her love and support gave Stephen the strength to go on. Instead of giving up, Stephen decided to work even harder. He wanted to understand the secrets of the universe. He continued his research and started writing scientific papers. Even though his body was slowly becoming weaker, his mind stayed sharp. His scientific work. Stephen Hawking studied black holes, areas in space where gravity is so strong that nothing can escape. He made a famous discovery: black holes are not completely black. They can give off a kind of radiation, now called Hawking radiation. This changed the way scientists think about space and time. He also worked on the theory of the Big Bang, the idea that the universe began from a single point and has been expanding ever since. He wrote many books to help people understand these ideas. His most famous book is A Brief History of Time, which sold millions of copies around the world. Life in a wheelchair. As the years passed, Stephen's disease got worse. He lost the ability to walk, use his hands, or speak. But he didn't stop working. He used a wheelchair and a computer to talk. The computer had a voice synthesizer that spoke for him. Even though he could only move a few fingers, he continued to write books, give lectures, and inspire millions. Stephen traveled around the world, giving talks and meeting people. He appeared on TV shows and in documentaries. People were amazed not just by his intelligence, but also by his courage and humor. He once said, "Life would be tragic if it weren't funny." A message of hope. Stephen Hawking lived much longer than doctors expected. Instead of 2 years, he lived for more than 50 years after his diagnosis. He passed away in 2018 at the age of 76. His life teaches us many lessons. First, never give up. Even when things look impossible, we can find a way to keep going. Stephen showed that a strong mind and a positive spirit can overcome even the most serious challenges. Second, he taught us to keep asking questions. He never stopped being curious. He once said, "Look up at the stars and not down at your feet." He wanted us to always think about the big picture, to wonder about the universe, and to keep learning. Third, he showed us that disability does not mean inability. Even though he couldn't move or speak, he still changed the world with his ideas. He didn't let his condition stop him from living a full and meaningful life. Legacy today, Stephen Hawking is remembered not just as a scientist, but as a symbol of human strength and determination. Schools, labs, and science centers around the world honor his work. His books continue to inspire young people to study science and ask big questions. His story reminds us that no matter how hard life gets, we can still do amazing things. With hard work, courage, and a little bit of humor, we can reach for the stars, just like Stephen Hawking did.